Hello, hello, hello everybody. It's Carol here at Oak House Journals. Lovely to have you with me as always. And as you can see, I've got Margarete Miller's prompts for week number 16 ahead of me here. Prompt choices there, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. So the first prompt, something that makes you happy. Well, obviously paper, collaging, crafting, my craft stash, anything like that makes me supremely happy, but I'm going with paper. So what I've lifted out to represent that are these little clusters here of little tickets, bits of paper. So there's various ones. This is book text with some vellum behind and an image, and then I've got this one which is again a bit of label or three little portions of labels. So I'll be using one of these, not sure which at the moment, but I've got one of those to use. The second prompt is a form. Well, a form is a document with spaces in it in which you would write down answers or information that can be recorded or written in an organised way. So, well, that's one definition of a form anyway. So I'm going with that, and I've lifted out a couple here. I've got this form that has been filled in, as you can see, and it's to record details of what money has been paid and by whom and what date. So that has information recorded on it in an organised way. And I've also got this one which is slightly bigger. This, as you can see, is a driver's journey record, and again this would be a form that has been partially filled out. I think my preference is for this little one, but I have that one as a fallback. The third prompt is text in a language foreign to you. I've got portion of book page here. The next prompt, a geometric design. I'm going with this, the triangle. Penultimate prompt, something outdated. Well, I've got a binary card here or a computer card here. And these used to be used way back in the day. Not sure if they're still used. I suspect they aren't. So that's a full one. I'm not going to use the full one, but I do have a portion of one here that I'm going to use. And the bonus prompt is a sticker, and I've got a little pouch here of various stickers, and I'll root through that in a moment or two to find something suitable. And I have a few more tucked away that I can also use. And there we go, the lights have just come back on. So mini power cut whilst I've been on air. So there we go, everybody. Those are my choices for today. And I'm going to put my prompts in front of me and go in straight away with my background. And I'm just going to pop it over to the left-hand margin. My preference is this one. I like it because it's got a pop of colour on it, although looking at these, I may well look and see if I've got a different stamp that I can use over the top of that. It is a shame to cover that one up, but I want to sort of marry in my colours as best I can. And I love the fact that I've got that little portion down the side. So it's obviously been glued to something at some stage. And I thought that I might have that in there like that. Maybe even bring that down further so that I can have some of that book text showing underneath. This would be nice, kind of tucked across one corner. No, I'm not liking that. Just wondering if I can make use of it that way. Now this is a rusty colour which goes with that actually, but we'll have to have a play and see if I'm going to keep that stamp or not. Let's pull that down here for the time being, so I could bring that in down here, maybe have it something like that, which would be quite nice. Maybe even pull that down a bit more. I'm liking that I haven't got much of a margin there. I might trim away some of this. Now, which one of these shall I use? I suppose which one depends on what colour stamp I decide to cover this up with. I mean, that would work quite nicely up there. Feels like these two pieces aren't connected, so I could have that pulled over a little bit. Feel like I want a longer piece, so let's change that one out and put that one in. And whilst I like the fact that I can move it up a little bit, it doesn't really give me, again, much connection between these two pieces. So I'm wondering maybe if I use a mishmash of papers on my collage. That's not working. I'm going to trim away underneath these numbers. So let me do that. Just going to change that out. I'm leaning towards the green, although it would be better if that eyelet was on the other side, but I could still use that. Then I could have this one probably tucked in there like that. Just feel like I want to bring this label down more. I'm not averse to that, I have to say. I would chop across the bottom here, maybe even reduce this down a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take those two out. I'm going to look for another cluster and see if I can make it longer. And I'm also going to ferret through these to see if I can find something, a decent sticker that I can use. I mean, I could always go in with something like that, and that would work. That looks nice, but the colour's too vibrant. Okay, so I've got a couple of options. I think I'm liking the bigger one of those, so let me pop those away. So I've got a few options here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a couple of these apart and make a longer portion to go up there so that I can use the green. The green is really the colour that I want to pick up for some reason. I have played with these, and whilst they all look very nice on here, the one I'm going to go with is the dragonfly. I am tempted to put this one behind it. This one looked lovely as well on there, but I need something to tie in with the green. I'm going to have that portion across the top there, and I'm going to have these pieces as they are here. So I'm going to put some glue behind all of these pieces, and then I'll come back. So as you can see, just going in with my glue behind my form, and now onto the computer card and positioning that onto my book page and my sticker in place there. So here I'm just taking apart that cluster that I wanted to use, repositioning the papers and taking a few of the other pages or papers from the other clusters. So there's a piece of vellum gone in there. There you go, just positioning it in place. And I've used the long green sticker from one of the other, or long green label from one of the other clusters, and just putting a little bit of glue. Obviously I've got a hole there, which is a bit of an issue. I don't want that eyelet hole in that location, so I go in with another little label. That's the original one, but I do find another little label that I can put on the top, which masks where those holes are, and I can create a fresh hole. That's my geometric shape, just been glued into place. And here I'm just gluing a new label on the top, as you can see, checking where I want that eyelet to go and using my crocodile to create a hole, and then putting that eyelet back in place. And that's how it looks now. So a bit of glue behind my whole composition and gluing it onto my background, and now, as you can see, gluing my little cluster in place. This is my finished collage, but actually, no, it's not my finished collage. Just looking at it, and whilst I like how it looks, I'm going to add that little letter up there and glue that in place, because I just think that finishes it off. And I was in two minds about this sticker down here, which covered the stamp, and I'm actually wondering about going in with this one, and I think I will go in with this one because it feels more in keeping, and it's a better colour match for this piece of beige there, which picks up the beige background on that. This is a greeny colour, or the dragonflies are a greeny colour, which picks up the green here that I've used, but that particular one feels more in keeping. You will see a hint of the serrated white edge from this, but I don't think I can peel that sticker off without causing a whole heap of damage. And luckily this is another sticker, so I still hit the prompt in terms of using a sticker. So let me quickly try and peel it off. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue onto the back, because that means I can hopefully reposition it if I don't get the positioning just right. And it just gives me, as you can see, a little bit of wriggle room, not a lot, or wriggle time I should say, not a lot, but it just gives me enough. And that is now definitely my finished piece for this week. There we go, bringing in my prompts. Something that makes you happy. I went with this grouping of paper up here because paper always makes me happy. A form, well, I went with this lovely one down here, this vintage one. Text in a foreign language, I went with my book page down here. A geometric design, I went with my triangle up the top there. Something outdated, I went with my piece of a binary card or computer card down there, and a sticker. Well, you've just seen me put that in place. So there we go, everybody. Came together relatively quickly this week. I knew roughly what I wanted to create. It was just getting it there, getting the composition, and yeah, I'm relatively happy with this. I've got a rule of, well, I was going to say a rule of 3 with these background colours here, but actually it's not far off this one, so it's probably a rule of 4. I've got lots of layering going on with my background pieces, my computer code and my form, so that always makes me happy if I've got a staggered background. This seems a little bit strange up there, but I can live with it, and actually the colour on it, the border on it, is not a million miles from this, so again I can go with that. Yeah, not too bad I think for this week. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you'll join me next week when I tackle assignment number 17. Until then, I'll leave you some close-up photographs so you can have a better look at my efforts this week. Until the next video, everybody, take care and bye-bye from me. Bye-bye now.